over the Congress when it came to shaping the narrative via social media. Will the 2024 elections see a more level playing field between the government and the opposition? Or will the narrative once again be dominated by the BJP's giant social media army? I want to begin this session by showing you where things stand on social media at this moment. What we've done is we've compared the social media reach of the BJP and the Congress on different social media platforms, and that will be up on your screen to give you a sense of where things stand. So this is BJP versus Congress on Twitter. 20 million followers for the BJP, 9.3 million followers when we last checked for the Congress. The BJP has an average of 371 retweets per tweet. Average likes is 1,000. The Congress has 514 retweets average, and average likes is 1,500. Let's now come to BJP versus Congress on Facebook. There again, the BJP ahead of the Congress by quite a fair distance. 16 million followers for the BJP on Facebook, 6.4 million for the Congress, 194 average shares for the BJP, 167 for the Congress. So the Congress's game on Twitter stronger than the game on Facebook. But the BJP, once again, more than double the strength when it comes to follower count on Facebook. Let's now compare the two primary leaders of these two parties, Prime Minister Modi and Member of Parliament Rahul Gandhi. The Prime Minister has 87.1 million followers on Twitter. Rahul Gandhi now has 22.9. Rahul Gandhi, though, gets more average likes per tweet. That's 34,300 odd likes, 9.2 average retweets. The Prime Minister gets about 4,000 average retweets. Let's now compare Mr. Modi and Rahul Gandhi on Facebook. 48 million followers for the Prime Minister on Facebook. Rahul Gandhi very marginal in comparison on Facebook with just 6.4 million. 9.7 thousand likes for the Prime Minister on Facebook versus 2.1 for Mr. Gandhi. That now brings me to our two speakers who are in the battlefield at the conclave. Amit Malviya and Supriya Shrinate. Amit Malviya at about 700,000 followers on Twitter. Following close behind is Supriya Shrinate at 577.2. Mr. Malviya has 1.7 thousand average likes, 512 average retweets. Supriya Shrinate just marginally ahead when it comes to average retweets, 869. Average likes is 3.7. With that, ladies and gentlemen, at the India Today Conclave, can we have a warm round of applause as I welcome and introduce Amit Malviya. He heads the social media, the giant social media army of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and trying to take him on is Supriya Shrinate. She's been a journalist, now heads the social media division of the Congress Party. Welcome, Mr. Malviya and Supriya Shrinate, and thank you so much for agreeing to join us here. I want to start by asking Amit Malviya about your sense of the comparative landscape on social media building up to the 2024 elections. In the last two elections, the BJP was heads and shoulders ahead of everyone else in the opposition. Do you think that the Congress party has been able to close the gap? In some metrics, they're actually ahead, even if the total follower count is much lesser than the BJP. Will the next election see a more level playing field on social media? Are you confident that you'll win on the ground and on social media in the same thumping fashion that you did last time? Mr. Malviya.
Thank you, Rahul. I think you've answered your question by putting out the statistics that you have just mentioned here. Well, beyond these numbers, the social media game is far more deeper and far more pervasive. And I think the BJP is far, far ahead of the Congress. The Congress can probably never even imagine to get to where we are. And it has much to do with Prime Minister Modi's leadership and the organizational footprint of the BJP. Let me explain both of those aspects, and I'll take a couple of minutes to set the agenda for this conversation. Any political party is characterized by its leadership, his vision, the ideology of the party, and the organization strength. Today, clearly, when it comes to Mr. Modi, stands heads and shoulders above any other political leader in the country. He's not just someone who is the tallest leader in India, but has a global standing. He's somebody the world now looks up to, and that makes a huge impact. Much as we would like to believe that some of these narratives are very Delhi-centric or urban-centric, the truth of the matter is that with the advent of social media, there has been democratization of discourse, and everything that is said in Delhi reaches the farthest corner of this country. And it is not media that takes the message across, it is the social media that takes the message across. For me, as in charge of the BJP's Information and Technology Department, I'm not as much concerned about the conversations that go on in Delhi as I am about conversation in Bharuch, in back and beyond of Uttar Pradesh, in Far East, Northeast, in southern parts of the country, the smaller towns, and what are people thinking and consuming there. That's the first part of it. The second part of it, and I think that's where we just win the debate completely, is when you look at what governance actually means, what it means for the people of this country. And I will just put out some statistics to compare where we are today in 2022 as compared to where we were in 2014. Sure.
She's trolling you already.
No, I'm just saying 23. We are at 23.
But the comparative data that I will give out is as of 2022. So it is a comparison between 2014 and 22. The size of the economy, we were 10th in 2014. We are number 5 today. Share of global GDP, 2.6%. We are 3.4% today. Share in global trade and services, 2.0% in 2014. We are at 2.2 now. Share in global FDI flows, 2.1% in 2014, 6.7% now. Auto production at number 7 in 2014. We are at number 3 in 2022. Steel production at 4 in 2014, number 2 in 2022. Mobile phone manufacturing, number 12. We are today at number 2. Number of unicorns, we had 4 in 2014. We had 116 today in 2022. India's weight in BRICS, 14%. Today it is at 29%. India's weight in emerging market was 7% in 2014. It's 15% now. Climate change performance, 31 in 2014, number 10 today. Global Innovation Index, 83 in 2014. We are up to 46. WGI Governance Index, 103 in 2014, 49 now. Ease of doing business, 142 in 2000. No, I'm not done. You need to give me a couple of more minutes. We were importing locomotives, and today we are building trains. The inflation in India is lower than the United States for the last 16 months. I'm not done yet. The focus on infrastructure has been massive. We have invested in the last 9 years what we have invested in the previous 67 years, whether it is investment in coal, whether it is investment in ports, railway electrification, highways, urban airports, metros, ports, small, big, everywhere. Okay. No, I'm not done yet. This is the narrative that we are talking about. You talk about PLI scheme. We've invested $2.4 billion, employment, direct employment generation of 40 lakh.
Fighting the election just now.
No, we are not. But I'm not done yet. That is the point that I'm trying to make. The narrative is about the work that this government has done and Prime Minister Modi has done. And I can go on for the next 30 minutes, which is the time for your schedule. But the thing is, this is how elections are won. So when we talk about social media, we talk about narratives, we talk about governance, we talk about achievements, we talk about development. And clearly, the Congress is no match when it comes to any of these aspects.
मेरे पास मोदी है, काम बोलता है. That's Amit Malviya's response. The Congress may have gained some strength on social media, but he very dismissively says the BJP will shape the narrative because they've got the Prime Minister and their work speaks for itself. Supriya Shrinate, let's have your opening comments.
4.5 minutes of numbers that we heard. 4.5 minutes, with all due respect to my friend right here, of someone who's reading the data very deceptively. Because I will just point out something that he perhaps very grossly missed. You look at the average likes and retweets of Rahul Gandhi and Narendra Modi. You look at the average likes and retweets of the Congress party and the BJP. You look at the average likes and retweets of Supriya Shrinate and Amit Malviya, we tower much ahead. So, I mean, as somebody who, once again, you were listening in rapt attention, listen to me also in rapt attention. This isn't a TV show, right? You said this isn't a show, we are here in the conclave. You listen with such rapt attention, offer me the same courtesy. 4.5 minutes. So, my question is, are you looking at engagement? Are you looking at the likes? Are you looking at retweets? Or are you just going to look at that big number? Because that big number is misleading. I am putting out a retweet, and if 10 people are liking it and 4 are liking his, with many more followers, and by his I mean the BJP and Congress, what does it tell you? That there are more people engaging with us. Forget about social media statistics. Let's talk about the situation on the ground. What is the situation on the ground? And I would like to address the elephant in the room, because that is often not addressed. And the elephant in the room is, why do you then have this urgent desire, this unsubstantiated need to weaponize fake news, to weaponize misinformation? And with all due respect to you, my friend, right here, you have the distinguished mark of being flagged off repeatedly for putting fake news from your own platform and your parties through social media and digital platforms. What is the need to do so? I would ask a question. I would ask a question when Bharat Jodo Yatra was happening. Every day, the BJP's official handle would put out some kind of fake news. We would bust it. Fact checkers would check it. Mr. Malviya himself has the distinguished of being flagged by Twitter, the first person in this country flagged by Twitter for putting out misleading information.
So did Donald Trump, and he was the president of America. So that's a great company to be in.
This isn't a TV show. I hope you will offer me the courtesy.
You did interject me once. I have done my bit as well.
Thank you. Thanks. I was reminding you.
So I was with Donald Trump, the president of America, where does the Congress party and Rahul?
So the reality is, one second, Rahul. So the reality is that he's admitting that he put out fake news, he weaponizes misinformation.
Well,
thank you, you did my job. I didn't have to do it.
It's to say,
thank you very much.
It's to say that Twitter, before their management got changed, were doing the bidding of a certain set of people with a different persuasion.
You start right here. I'm just asking you.
I mean, do you want to leave the conversation?
Okay, one second. Can we just do this one at a time? You spoke for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, she interjected me.
She interjected you once.
Once pointed out the year, you've done your bit, now please keep quiet because you will have another chance to speak. You don't want me to do this to you. This is a conclave.
I'm done with what I have to say. I've made my point. The message has gone loud and across.
Yeah, kuch chai pakode leke aao. We can just sit there.
I actually got the applause.
Popcorn lao, chai lao, pakode lao, kuch coffee pilao.
Mr. Malviya here heads the biggest fake news factory on this planet. He has the distinguished to do that. And he is doing that. And it's not just him. I hate to say this. I respect anybody in government. I respect institutions. But this is no more about a troll, about a surrogate, about shadow networks. This is about a troll government. I mean, why are ministers in this government reducing themselves to mere trolls? You look at what law minister is saying against. You have an issue with the Congress. We understand we're the main opposition. You will attack us. He has an issue with me. I understand. You know, we do similar things. We are the opposition. We have diverse, divergent ideologies. We will be attacked. Mr. Modi wants to attack Rahul Gandhi. Go by all means. Now you want to attack activists. You want to attack Supreme Court judges. Supreme Court judges. Why? My only question is, if you have so much to tom-tom home about, why reduce yourself to petty 2 rupee trolls? And I also want to say one thing, and you can then take the mic away from me. Mr. Nishikant Dubey is a BJP MP. He is known to spread fake news in your August company. He has this morning put out a tweet, and I want to put it before the audience right here and let them decide. As a woman, I feel very offended. She's not from my party. She's a TMC MP. An MLA from my party, Deepika Pandey, he puts out a tweet and says, हमने तो वैशाली की नगर वधुओं का भी सम्मान किया. वैशाली की नगर वधु is referring to a prostitute. Are you willing to tell your colleague to take down that tweet? If you are, let's have a discussion. If not, forget about it.
Amit Malviya, the charge against you is that you run the world's largest fake news factory, you called it.
Yes.
A giant army of trolls that you're constantly being called out for putting out fake news.
And platforms are.
Well, I'll take the mic away otherwise. Okay. Now let
4.5 minutes. You didn't take.
No, but let him speak. You've both spoken. Now respond to the very serious charges that have been leveled by your opponent, Mr. Malviya.
You should have worn your bully-proof jacket. Rahul.
How do you know there's not a hidden bulletproof jacket here?
You will need it.
He didn't say bullets. He said bully.
Oh,
yeah,
bully.
The bully is closer to you.
You should be scared on my left than he on the right.
I'm not scared of anybody, least of you. Let me come to the most substantive argument again, because
Of the fake news factory.
my
this is not
colleague from the Congress actually reduced herself to being a troll. All she did was speak about people. I'm not here to speak about people. I'm here to speak about ideas. I'm here to speak about a more progressive regime that we want to see. I'm here to talk about a more progressive conversation environment. He said this, she said this, usne ye tweet kiya, aap ye karoge, ye troll, wo troll. The fact is, and I want to do some fact checks here, Rahul Gandhi is never mentioned by the Prime Minister, something that she alluded to. I want to get her out of this delusion. The Prime Minister has never mentioned Rahul Gandhi, ever. As far as you are concerned, I don't remember I ever responded to any tweet of yours while you keep quote-tweeting me and responding to my tweets, but I'll let it be. It's your prerogative. You're the challenger in this particular case, so you have to be sniping at us all the time. You're free to do it. But that's not really either my style of doing things or my party's. So I will move on from here, Rahul. You spoke about the presence of social media and what it has really done to the discourse. I spoke about democratization of discourse, and I think that's a very, very powerful idea, and most people do not quite understand the impact that it has made. Before 2014, it was widely believed that few editors sitting here in Delhi decided what the discourse on a particular issue should be. There were contentious issues on which the narrative was decided by the establishment, and the media, which was willing to play ball with the establishment, took that idea further. With the advent of social media, a lot of that has changed and changed significantly. Because today people have an opinion. For example, she lamented about some of the observations that the law minister made. Is it her argument that the law minister should not have an opinion on how India's judiciary should be like? Or should a lawyer or a legal professional not have an opinion on the judicial system of the country? Today, social media allows that to be done, and no voice is dependent on a mainstream media to publish them, because they can either put it on their blog or there are several proliferating digital platforms, and they can cover them.
Her argument is that whatever her message is at this moment is getting greater response. Average likes, average retweets, engagement, that they are doing much better than in the past. In fact, they're beating you on many metrics.
Well, if that was indeed the case, they would not have folded up in the recently concluded elections in Northeast. The best that they won in a state was about 5 seats. That's all that they got. So I don't know where is it resonating, with who is it
that's
resonating.
That's a very good counter.
No,
Supriya Shrinate, aap social media pe jeeto, Amit Malviya and the BJP will win elections.
No. The point that I'm making is social media pe bhi nahi jeet rahe hain. ये सिर्फ अपने दिमाग का ख्याली पुलाव है जहां जीत रहे हैं. Today, the BJP strength comes from the huge volunteer army and people who have an opinion, who we engage with. They are our strength. They take the idea forward. They take the ideological arguments further. In the Congress's scheme of things, they have a battery of official accounts and a few leaders who are active. That doesn't make social media. For me, a person... No, let me finish. For me, so the person in Kishanganj,
280 characters,
in Katihar, in Erode, in Far East, Far Northeast is important.
Even if you claim to be getting more likes and retweets, it doesn't matter very much because his party is winning all the elections.
I'm not going there. I'm going to first address the
You can't go there because you're not winning there, so you want to avoid that conversation.
Okay. Mr. Malviya, let us speak.
Some of you can clap, but just wait for my turn.
Maybe she wants to abandon the conversation.
So,
we should let her it must be embarrassing for her to be here.
Okay, let us speak. Let us speak.
Don't troll me here because you know what I'll do to you.
I don't need to.
I have 24 papers right here in front of me. I don't want to get personal. I will just quote 2 or 3 papers out of them.
You can't go beyond that.
I will tell you why.
Malviya, let us
you
speak.
started with that. That was your first argument. That was your last argument. Because you cannot compete with the BJP.
You just made such a long, comprehensive argument. Allow the lady an opportunity to respond.
That is why you want to go down that path. I said this. मैं 24 पेज लेके आई हूँ. तुम्हें flag off कर दिया. अरे भैया. I've been around for 9 years. If you play a test match, you'll have a few white balls. आप तो अभी आई हैं. आपकी पार्टी में 3 लोग बदल चुके हैं.
Okay, now let us speak.
24 pages right here. This gentleman sitting on my left called out for fake news all the time. And there's a reason why I want to talk about fake news and weaponizing misinformation. Last week, about 7 days back, they almost got Tamil Nadu and Bihar at blows. You know why? Because Manish Kashyap, a fake YouTuber, made a fake video which was being propagated by the entire BJP IT cell, including their leaders, and they almost came to blows. Don't speak in between now.
If nothing was
Mr.
happening
Malviya,
in Tamil Nadu,
Mr.
why did
Malviya,
the Chief Minister issue statements in
I'm
Hindi?
sorry, you have to play the anchor here, right? I'm a little pissed off with you right now. This
Why
is
you're not able to bully?
This is not on. I mean, let's be.
मैंने क्या गलत किया? मैं तो ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. रुको तो सही.
बीच में बोलो तो सही.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, आप बोलने भी तो दो.
बोलो. So first,
क्या बोल रहा है? आप
Mr. Malviya, let us speak.
With the fake
give
news
her a
video,
chance.
I mean,
they were putting
can we-
out misinformation that Biharis were being subjected to harassment, which was wrong. It was a video shot in Bihar by actors through a production house, and that video was being circulated by them. I'm just giving you examples. Bharat Jodo Yatra. We were in Madhya Pradesh, Mahakaleshwar. Rahul Gandhi ji does an aarti. I'm just telling you the kind of fake news propaganda that comes from no less than the IT cell head, which was shared by, of course, many people. Rahul Gandhi ji did an aarti. An aarti is done in a clockwise direction. Everybody and their mothers who do aarti know that. Mr. Malviya tweets, Rahul Gandhi doesn't know how to do the aarti.
But it speaks volumes about Rahul Gandhi's credibility.
Because I think the
as
problem
somebody
is
who hops
that
temples
Mr.
for
Malviya
convenience.
missed the physics class in school. In physics in class 7th, I was taught lateral inversion, but I knew that would be lost on him. So what I did instead was I put out an aarti of Modi ji, because on camera वो दोनों उल्टी दिखती हैं. जब वो देखा तो बेचारे चुप हो गए. फिर इन्होंने क्या बोला? आगे सुनिए. फिर इन्होंने बोला there were multiple things that he lied about. One of the things that they lied about was Jitendra Singh, who was India's former Minister of State for Home Affairs, was tying Rahul Gandhi ji's shoes. Now that was fact-checked. Twitter flagged it as fake news, misleading information. Why does he have to do this?
Why do you have to do this?
What is this urgent need to put out fake news all the time?
Why do you put out fake news?
Why did Smriti Irani, for instance, I'm asking you, why did Smriti Irani, for instance, have to go to Tamil Nadu and say Rahul Gandhi never visited the Vivekanand statue? He did. He even did a parikrama around it. What is this complete desire to... Why? ऐसे प्यार से मुझे भी बोला करो, let him speak. नहीं, अभी रुकिए आप. What is this desire to lie? What is this desire to lie? What is this desire to mislead? What is this desire to spread fake news? If you have a narrative, peddle that. Your narrative is fake news.
Okay, respond
and the
to
world
the charge.
recognizes that.
Okay.
Including the applause that I'm getting.
Well, left to the Congress party.
And maybe I should now start interjecting.
No,
ऐसे इनको भी बोलना चाहिए था,
let him
नहीं,
speak.
नहीं,
No,
ऐसे
no,
तो नहीं
come
किया
on,
आपने,
do it.
क्यों नहीं किया? I'm just saying.
Let him speak now.
Well,
please.
left to
just
the
paying back
Congress.
his
No,
own
please,
thing.
let him speak.
Why he did the same thing to me?
Let him speak.
No, I mean, you can take 5 minutes and
I
abuse
know,
No,
Madam,
one second. Let him speak.
I'll be the adult in the room. It's okay. Let him speak. Go ahead.
Well, left to the Congress party, they come out.
Will you get Nishikant Dubey to
No,
denounce?
one second,
Hey.
Supriya, this is not right.
Will he get
No, one
Nishikant
second.
Dubey
You've
to
spoken,
denounce?
you've leveled so many charges.
He's-
Now allow him the courtesy of
He
responding,
was
please.
speaking continuously while I was talking.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
He wasn't? Was he or was he not?
No.
Clap your
This is
hands.
just
What are
playing
you
to the
talking
gallery.
about?
No, you're just playing to the gallery. Allow him to speak.
You just said you want to be adult in the room and you suddenly change your mind.
I've always been
Well-
curious. Where do you get the accent from?
Let me finish.
Just curious to ask.
Let me finish. The fact is, left to the Congress party, they would disown their own leader's speech. Rahul Gandhi goes to London and he addresses this journalist conference and he seeks foreign intervention, Europe and America. The lady sitting here who just claimed to be an adult goes out and does a press conference, misquotes another speech of Rahul Gandhi to say that Rahul Gandhi never asked for foreign intervention. If the Congress spokespeople are going to be babysitting Rahul Gandhi, they can't blame us for pointing out the obvious. You have a bunch of sycophants in your party. So sycophancy is something associated with your party. So if something gets called out, why should you take offense to it? Number one. Number two, if the Congress party cannot make up its mind whether Rahul Gandhi is unfortunately an MP or unfortunately an MP for you as he was further tutored, and it goes on social media, they can't blame the BJP. You have a leader who can't string a single sentence on his own. You have a leader who can't make up his mind कि सवाल के जवाब होने चाहिए या जवाब के सवाल होने चाहिए.
अब ये सोशल मीडिया में तो जाएगा ही ना. He can't pronounce Vishweshwaraya. We are just facing Karnataka election. I mean, if that is the caliber of your leader and that is the man that you're defending, we are well within our right to highlight all that he does. And if that
Okay,
goes
let
on
her
social
respond
media,
now.
you can be upset for it for all I care. Look, you are invested in Rahul Gandhi, I understand. But we are doing the job of taking him to the world. You should thank us for it.
That
Because the
just
reality is...
he just gives a lot of fodder by constantly making mistakes and tying himself up in knots, and therefore Mr. Malviya gets ammunition to use against you.
I mean, we listen to speech far more than probably the Congress does.
I will just point out 3 instances and let the audience decide for themselves. We are a country of 1.4 billion, 140 crore ka desh hai, 140 crore people. The Prime Minister finds 600 crore voters here. And no less than World Economic Forum Davos, he told the audience, there are 600 crore voters in this country through a prepared speech. He really brought us global glory. The entire right wing, including large sections of the media, were quoting the deputy leader of the Nobel Committee. Mr. Modi is the front runner. The Nobel Committee deputy leader had to put out a statement saying this is fake news. This is a fake tweet. Do not give it energy and oxygen because I have said nothing remotely which matches that. Such global glory. विवेकानंद, गुरु नानक और कबीर जो अलग-अलग सदियों में पैदा हुए थे, वो एक साथ बैठकर बात करते थे. India's Prime Minister says this. So I'm just asking you questions. This is India's Prime Minister, tutored, he has prepared text, he has assistants, he has all of that. I will, and because this speech has been talked about, and because we are not addressing Adani yet, which I will next, Mr. Rahul Gandhi said this, and he said this at the IJA that he refers to. How can anybody find fault? I am quoting him verbatim. Indian democracy is a public good. In Hindi, भारत का लोकतंत्र विश्व के लिए सौगात है. Indian democracy is a public good. 140 crore people live in this democracy. The state of our democracy is going to decide the state of democracies on this planet. This is putting Indian democracy at the center stage. So, 1 second. No, Rahul, I'm not done. Please hold on.
Rahul.
No, Rahul.
Would you play that?
We have 3 minutes left.
I'm asking you, and then he was asked a question.
Would you play
exactly
that
on intervention?
That you're adding words. You are adding to Rahul Gandhi's mouth things. We've got 3 minutes left.
I mean, we don't have to add anything to Rahul Gandhi. For God's sake, he's Congress's gift to the world.
This is our internal problem. This is an Indian problem, and India will find a solution to this.
Mr. Malviya,
do you not understand that? Do you not understand English? The reality is you want to run away from Adani. You don't want to discuss Adani in Parliament, and so you mute Parliament. Did you do a show yesterday of how the Lok Sabha was muted for 16 minutes? Can you imagine? It is not just mics that are being turned off. Lok Sabha that was being telecasted through the Sunset TV was muted because they wanted to drown the audio where people started saying Rahul Gandhi.
You've got 2 minutes left. How could I have done a show yesterday? How could I have done a show yesterday? I was here at the conclave the whole day.
Do a show tomorrow. Do a show day after. And call me for that show and I will show you evidence. 16 minutes. India's parliament.
That you are running away from the question of Adani.
Why are you going away?
Let Mr. Malviya respond.
Okay, Supriya, you spoke. Adani. That's as simple as that. Adani को बचाना है सारे मंत्रिमंडल का यही बहाना है और कुछ नहीं है.
If you doubt the collective intelligence of the audience in this room and pretend that Rahul Gandhi did not seek foreign intervention in India's internal affairs,
our problem, Indian problem.
Hypocrisy is what is sinking the Congress party.
It's treacherous.
This hypocrisy is what is sinking the Congress party. Secondly,
I will not let him go away.
The only time the parliament cameras and telecasts were switched off and the Congress surreptitiously passed the Andhra Pradesh bifurcation bill.
Was muted for 16 minutes.
That was when the UPA was in power.
Can you answer this audience
why is the legacy of the Congress party. So if you cannot defend Rahul Gandhi and if you cannot stop him from making this faux pas, which is a fodder on social media, then clearly you can't blame the BJP for it. Rahul Gandhi is Congress's problem. He's not India's problem.
Mr. Adani has to be defended. It is as simple as that. You have put Indian democracy at hostage because you want to defend Adani.
We will see that in 2024.
Rahul Gandhi.
You barked up the Rafale treaty
TV.
You lost completely in 2019. You will be routed in 2024, and nothing will be able to save you.
Your reality.
Keep Rahul Gandhi for another day.
You know, in 2014 and 2019, the BJP had a big head start over the Congress. The Congress, as you've seen over the past 30 minutes, is trying to play catch up and try and level the playing field.
You think I was playing catch up?
Of course.
Earlier.
You were screeching. That's not dominating.
No, one
That's
second.
screeching.
Supriya thinks she won. Amit Malviya would naturally think he won. Can we have a round of applause for both? I'm not going to ask who you think won, because both of them were gracious enough to come and join us at the conclave. You saw a fierce contestation. And I think some of that will play out in the build-up to the next general elections. Both of you have a very onerous task ahead of you, leading your social media armies. And we look forward to a very exciting contest, the kind that we saw over the past 30 minutes.
I lead a social media team. He leads a fake news factory. That's the difference.
Look, the eventual proof of the pudding is in eating. We are going to win this
24
election.
fake
We are
news
going to win
items
the
that I'm
coming
carrying
elections.
for you.
You can
I
come,
lead a very
scream,
good social
screech,
media team
call
that
me
believes
names,
in the
reduce
idea of
yourself
India.
to a troll.
He leads
I have no
the world's
problem with
biggest
it.
fake news factory.
The only
That is
thing
the
you
sum
did
and
this
substance of
entire
that.
evening.
Okay, ladies and
is to
gentlemen,
troll.
for the fireworks, can we have a round of applause, please? We had a lot of very deep conversations with the Chief Justice and various other people through the morning. And now we've seen the kind of contest that we'll see on social media. Mr. Amit Malviya, Supriya Shrinate, for joining us at the conclave. Thank you very much. Thank you. Just stay one second. I think they have
both of you to stay on stage as I quickly call upon Anuj Kohli, General Manager Hitachi, to come and give a small token of our appreciation to both the leaders. And don't tell us we didn't warn you. I did so right at the beginning of the session. But do stay on, and we'll quickly move it to our next session. Ladies and gentlemen, do raise a round of applause for Ms. Shrinate and Mr. Malviya. You're going to see a lot of the both of them in the next year to come as we run up to 2024.
One second. Can I do a selfie, please? This I will never get, because on social media, they're like always opposed to each other. Just 1 second, please. This is quite unique. They would never.
This is epic, actually.
It is.
I'm also going to get one.
If it weren't for the India Today Conclave, we'd never have both of them together. So 1 second, please. Here we go. Here we go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is very special. Thank you. Your boxing gloves can now be taken off. Bulletproof jackets can come off as well. Supriya, Amit, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so everybody take a deep breath and let's get into our next session. A little less political, more business. Crisis compass, surviving lows and lockdowns, and what it takes to bounce back and thrive. This next session has been brought to you by India Insurance Company, the new India Insurance Company. And to take it from here, I'm going to quickly invite our sponsor, but just give us invite us session moderator, just give us about 10 seconds to turn around our all right, from politics to business. Crisis compass, surviving lows and lockdowns, what it takes to bounce back and thrive. Inviting our session's moderator, Mr. Raj Chengappa, Group Editorial Director, Publishing, India Today Group, and our esteemed panelists, Mr. Puneet Chatwal, MD CEO, Indian Hotels Company, Ajay Bijli, MD, PVR Inox Limited, Ajay Singh, CEO, SpiceJet.
Good evening, everyone. If you saw India's differences in the previous session, just concluded, welcome to this session on resilience, which I promise you will not only demonstrate India's unity, but also touch your hearts and inspire you. The COVID pandemic has impacted all of us. Most of us were afflicted by it. I, in fact, had an attack I thought I'd got away with it in the first wave and the second wave, but it came to me on the third wave, and it was Omicron at that time. Very mild. I was out of it in 2 or 3 days and back to work. But I know that there were thousands who suffered, families who lost their loved ones, families who their loved ones were afflicted seriously and are still recovering from the effects of COVID. And if you look at official statistics, close to 44 million people in India were afflicted with COVID during this period. Of those, 530,000 people died. After a shaky start, which we all witnessed in the early days, and all this brings memories, not very good memories back, India's medical response began to kick in, and it was truly phenomenal and laudable. Not only did we develop vaccines, we manufactured them for India and for the world, and we carried out one of the world's biggest vaccine drives. Over 700 million people got their double vaccinations, an incredible feat by itself. But as you know, apart from the devastation that it had on our personal lives, COVID also seriously impacted our livelihoods. Overall, the Indian economy was so devastated that it went into degrowth. An economy that was growing in terms of GDP went into minus. An estimated 140 million people in India lost their jobs, and countless others. There's no figure to the number of people who experienced salary cuts during that period. One study indicated that more than 45% of Indian households had experienced a drop in income levels. While almost all the sectors in the country were impacted, the ones that were probably suffered the most and impacted the most was what is called the personal touch industry. And among the sectors of that, I mean, if you looked at some of the personal touch industry that was there, it was tourism, hospitality, entertainment, and aviation. And I'm just going in whatever order that they came in. Now, the good news is that most of these sectors are on the path to recovery, and in the process, they have restored millions of jobs and has positively impacted millions of other families, including all of us, and brought much of the joy and happiness back, and hopefully that period is over. Of course, COVID is again raising its head, but not in the kind, we hope it's not in the kind that happened the first two or three waves that is there. And so, there are remarkable stories to be told of this great turnaround from various managements, institutions, through great odds. They demonstrated outstanding management skills, leadership, and compassion that lifted our companies out of the morass through some of the most difficult times. COVID was truly a black swan event, and they have all inspiring stories to tell and management lessons that we can learn from. Ladies and gentlemen, we all lauded the doctors, healthcare workers, scientists, and government officials who helped us contain the impact of COVID, and for very good reason. Today, we will laud those who also made a huge impact on our livelihoods. They too are our COVID heroes. And I have great privilege in introducing three of them today. As I said, from diverse sectors. From the aviation sector, we have Ajay Singh, CEO of SpiceJet, among the top 5 airlines in the country. From the hospitality sector, there is Puneet Chatwal, Managing Director and CEO of the India Hotels Company, which owns the Taj Group of companies, including the one that we are sitting here. And from the entertainment sector, Ajay Bijli, from PVR Inox Limited, who owns it, the largest cinema, who owns the largest number of cinemas in the country, and I'm sure all of you have been in one of them during our lifetime here. So let's give them a warm round of applause before we begin. Ajay Singh. Ajay, you were flying something like 75 aircraft before COVID struck you. And domestically, at that time, you were the third largest a turnover of something like 12,000 crores, 14 million passengers, employees that were something like 12,000 people. When COVID struck you, what was the impact it had? And then how did you begin to turn it around? I mean, this must have been devastating at that particular point. Can you narrate in a personal manner what it, go through that period?
Aviation was one of those spaces which just shut down, completely shut down. We were just told one fine day in March that it's not like we had to reduce flights or take some precautionary measures. We were just told that on this day you stop flying. In aviation, that's a big problem because we have planes that we've taken on lease and we have to keep paying for them irrespective of what happens, whether you're flying them, you're not flying them. You have so many people that, we had at that time 12 or 13,000 people. What do you do with them? What does it mean when you say just shut down? What happens to all the infrastructure that you've got and how does one pay for it?
Do you remember that particular day when that...
I remember that day. It was the government of India asked us in for a meeting, all of us, and said, look, we have no option but to just... We've been told that we need to shut shop. So it's a devastating blow. What really do you do? And, from our perspective, we just had to move quickly because this was the end of March. And we had to pay salaries at the end of that month. And we were trying to figure out what happens when we don't fly that 10 days. How will we have the money to actually pay the salaries? And what happens to all the people who are dependent on us? So we had to start moving really, really quickly. We just decided that there was little point in just sitting around and just moping about what had befallen us and what the government might or might not do to help. And at that point, of course, the government had other priorities and said, look, we can't really do very much. From our perspective, we said, look, we have the planes. We can't fly passengers anymore, but is there something else that we can fly? And we realized that cargo was one of those things that we could actually use the planes for because there were no trucks, there were no trains, there was no surface movement of cargo. And so we said, nobody's stopping us from flying the plane. It's just that we can't put passengers in the plane. So we started using the planes to fly cargo. We first put cargo on the seats of the aircraft and we said, let's fly it like this. And then we said, okay, why can't we just take out the seats? And then there was this whole process of, can it be certified when you take out the seats and what happens to the plane? And we worked around those issues. We took out seats from a large number of planes and we started flying stuff for COVID. Initially, the government of India needed medicines. They needed equipment from places like China. Even a PPE suit, we didn't know in this country what a PPE suit was. So the government said to us, can you please fly a plane to China, get us a PPE suit. From Shanghai. Right. And when it comes here, since we want to replicate it, can you please fly it to Coimbatore? Because we have no other way to send it to Coimbatore. Wow. And we had this one aircraft, I remember, that just flew that one PPE suit. There was nothing in that plane but that one PPE suit. And we flew it to Coimbatore so that it could be replicated. Same stuff, we were approached by shrimp farmers and they said, look, what the hell, we have this entire community of people who are dependent on these, our products getting to market. This whole community will disappear if there is no way to do it. And we said, look, what the hell, we've never transported shrimp eggs. But we found a way to do it. So we transported the eggs and, you should see the wonderful stories that they tell about us now. Same for just so many commodities that needed to go from one place to the other. We took some wide body aircraft. We realized that around the world, aircraft had come to a grinding halt and they were doing nothing and we could get them for next to free. So we said, okay, let's get these big, huge planes. And now instead of just flying around the country, we can also fly to the Middle East on these planes. Remember that the Middle East is dependent on countries like India for food and vegetables and flowers and things like that. And so we just repurposed. Thought was that, look, in this horrible adversity that we have, what are the opportunities we can find? And can we somehow stay alive? And the new business that we did actually helped us keep going and helped us pay salaries. We didn't sack a single person from SpiceJet. We said, look, there is no place. We said there is absolutely no place. If we sack them, they'll be out on the road because there is no other job for them to get anywhere in the country. And we said, fine, we'll manage with whatever we have, but we won't sack anybody. So the earnings that we were getting from the cargo business, we essentially paid to our employees. We said the guys who are at the lowest rung, they are at subsistence. We will keep paying them their entire salary. We will not do salary cuts. At the top level, we will do 100%. Like for me, I was on zero salary. My immediate reportees were on zero salary. And then we had a gradation of salary cuts. And we survived. We said, look, we'll manage with whatever we have and hope for the best.
And now you are back to almost pre-COVID levels?
So we are now getting back to pre-COVID levels. Of course, the market is doing well. The demand is strong. The yields are high. We actually, of course, learned a lot during COVID. We learned that you could actually automate many, many things that we should have done a long time back, but COVID allowed us to do it. And you could work as one team, all the airlines together, the government, work as one India in a common objective, and that helps in very many ways. And I think all in all, fantastic learnings from COVID.
I'm going to come back to you, Ajay Singh, on some of the lessons you learned, but I'd like to bring Puneet in at this time. 260 hotels, 100 homestays, an enterprise revenue over 10,000 crores, employing 28,000 people, 22,000 rooms, and over 5 million room nights. And overnight, that becomes zero. Am I right? What did you all do?
See, I think when I look back, it's very interesting. 22nd of March was Janta curfew. We all had to, take the thali out and do something. Then 24th was the lockdown. And we did a lot of things, to which I'll come one on one. But honestly, neither me nor the entire management team believed that this is going to last beyond 30th of April. Had we known this will go on for 2 years, we might have given up what all we did. Now I come to what we did.
Right.
So we started something which is actually built in the DNA of the House of Tatas, is the community service. So we started giving meals to frontline workers. Already from 20th of March, we started with the Nair Hospital in Mumbai, which spread to 7 hospitals in Mumbai, then 3 more in Delhi, then a few in Bangalore, few in Coimbatore, etc.
Did you all also become COVID hospitals in some senses, where they
Yes,
rooms?
That came later. So the first thing was giving meals, and also to the migrant workers. There was times when on a day we were supplying 60, 70,000 meals a day, and in the end, it added up to 6 million meals during COVID period that we did. Now, all this came because of a belief that when a virus hits both your mind and your business, and the human beings are living in fear, then they need empathy and care. And we did that with the core values of Taj. So not everybody in this audience would know. Taj, we defined 5 years ago, stands for trust, awareness, and joy. So having trust of all your stakeholders is important. And stakeholders also includes, beyond guests, all your suppliers, all your, from poultry to peas, from, all your associates, all the people who are working with you. Awareness of what is happening around you, and joy in doing what you do, right? And this just comes in automatic, although I was then only 2.5 years with the company, but it just happened. I saw everybody into execution and action mode, and that worked very well. Besides that, we hosted 120,000 bed nights for frontline workers. And all this got done through Taj Public Service Welfare Trust, which was created post 26/11 attacks to help the victims of terrorism. And we we kind of clarified that a virus is nothing else but also another kind of a terror attack on human beings. So I think all in all, what this did was that everybody else also followed. So the hospitality sector, which was hurt, which was absolutely paralyzed with the fear that was inculcated in people that going to a hotel, going to a restaurant, sitting in a plane creates COVID. And then what do you do? So I think thinking like that, listening to your customers, we started home delivery, like Ajay did, the cargo, cumin got created. So we started bringing Taj food to people's homes. We created homestay in the form of Ama, so that people can have relaxation and holiday in a secluded environment. So that's again become a business for us. And we see that when the business is back, all this is firing. And
currently, at what revenues are you all as compared to?
We are actually in a better position. I think we got a lot of empathy from all the customers, including your group, India Today. We see everybody's here. A few days ago, we had the other groups' summits also. So all that is happening with us. So we are 1920 comparatively, we are almost 30% ahead.
Wow.
At an enterprise level. And in the last quarter, our profit after tax was higher than any full year profit of the best financial year.
Wow. Ajay Bijli, do you have a similar story to tell? Your PVR Inox, 1,674 cinema screens, 358 theaters across 114 cities in India and Sri Lanka, overall turnover 7,500 crore rupees, viewing of 100 million people in 2019, just before COVID. And then you said it became zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so what did you
1 minute, 15 seconds, I can say.
No, don't worry. We'll get it extended. I think the clock went a little
Thank you, first of all, for having me, and these are incredible stories. So, of course, our business, 2019 globally was the biggest box office year in the world. $42 billion was the gross box office revenues at cinemas. And even India was massive. And we had about 100 million people coming to our cinemas. And suddenly this COVID broke and, 2020 March 15th, 16th, cinemas were shut down. So we were the first ones to be shut down and the last ones to have opened. So obviously it was if I say it was a body blow, it's an understatement because suddenly your revenues came to zero. And we didn't have any other avenues. Ours is very simple business. The shutters are up, business is up, shutters are down, business is zero. So even no home delivery we could do, no other avenues. So one of the lessons that I learned at that time was that it's all very good to say core competence, do very well, do one thing, do it exceedingly well. But if you put all your eggs in one basket, sometimes a very out of shape scrambled egg or omelette comes out. So that's what happened with us. But for me, more than the business, it was important to remain sane. I was very fortunate that, by default, due to a lockdown, my kids were with me. My wife, Selena, she's here. My mom lives in the same house, my brother. So suddenly, this perspective came to me that, okay, fine, this is not a disruption. This is an interruption in my business. And it's fine, count your blessings. There are other things to... you can't have a one-dimensional view of life, that if business goes down, you go down. And I just started to take care of myself and exercised, did everything. And in fact, I shaved every day as well. So I didn't want to look like completely Dukhi Atma on the Zoom calls as well. And because I wanted to do that for my family, I wanted to do that for 12,000 people working at PVR and come out with strategies to survive. I don't have time, but I'll just tell you a few things. We had to obviously, since we didn't have any other revenue avenues, so cost was the only thing we could do and shoring up liquidity. So I was fortunate that most of my people, without me even asking, took a 50% haircut in their remuneration. I was extremely fortunate that all developers, because our business is all about renting spaces, they all came forward and gave us rent reliefs, even without force majeure. I was extremely happy that we were able to raise funds because 18 months is a long period to have zero revenues. So we raised liquidity through a rights issue. We raised liquidity through a QIP. I was absolutely blown away that we were able to raise the kind of cash we did to survive 18 months. We were completely at the brink of a bankruptcy. And because of cost savings, because of being able to raise money, and because of remaining sane, and again, thanks to my parents, that how to maintain equanimity.
And now you've also acquired a company and as well.
Yeah. Well, as I said, never waste a good crisis. So we found an opportunity that only in COVID we could have done this merger. And we did a merger with Inox, with the number 2 player in the listed entity. And basically just to make the balance sheet stronger. And that's it really, and I think I've run out of time. That's a massive times I've written.
Well, I'm going to just take a little, just one more round we're going to have, and this is lessons, management lessons. So Ajay Singh, we can start with you. What are the 3 things that you would say that you learned, which others could learn in terms of managing resilience? 3 things that you would say in your mind, 1, 2, 3, if I take them off.
Well, I think...
Don't worry, I'll tell them to, you can say them. I think everyone's interested. Just 3 things, yeah, quickly.
So I think, one, as Ajay was just saying, try and find opportunity in crisis. That also keeps you sane, by the way.
Right.
Besides, so it's a way to remain optimistic in life. I think 2, this importance of automation. I think that was key. We learned that a lot of stuff that we were doing could actually have been automated when we were forced to automate because of COVID. So that's something that everybody should do, COVID or no COVID. I think those are 2 really big ideas. And 3, I think that never presume that the worst can't hit you, because we never ever imagined a situation in which there could be an outage like COVID. We just thought things were going to remain hunky-dory for periods of time, and there'll be small blips, but that there can be huge events of this sort, and that one needs to even plan for those, I think was a big learning for us.
Puneet, quickly, 2 or 3 things that you would...
One, I would say that I realize the importance of giving. So if you give one in good way, 10 times good comes back to you. I never would have believed. You only read that in books. The second is, if you look after your people, they look after your guests, and then the business is there to stay. And last, I would say, is shortcuts don't help even in a pandemic. Don't take shortcuts. They only solve short-term problems, but create long-term challenges.
Wow. Ajay?
Yeah, I mean, I think good times, bad times, if you take care of all your stakeholders, customers, your people, in our case, the film fraternity, I didn't stop them from going to OTT platforms. That's an elephant in the room. I thought I must address that as well. And everybody, and bankers, investors, and they help you, because if you've done a good job of running your company, taken care of them, and also you can't just maintain a facade of remaining positive with your team. You have to back it with statistics. So I'm in a business where 1,800 films come through the system in India, and 1.45 billion tickets get sold. It's an industry which has been around for 125 years. So you can't renounce an activity suddenly for 18 months if it's shut. So it was here to stay, and I proved it by data. And it's proven even now. Some of the biggest hits have come post-pandemic. Never have you seen a Telugu movie, Kannada movie, English movie, Hindi movie doing the business that is done. So I think if you just give lip service to your team, it doesn't work. You have to back it with data. You have to back it with the conviction that your business is here to stay. This is just an intermission, a very long intermission, but not the end of, it's not doomsday.
I think, so the deeper you go, the higher you reach.
I think one thing that all of us realized in that period was that one needs to be scrupulously honest. This importance of honesty, just to tell people how bad things were. Just the bad news to everybody, to all your stakeholders, and say that you're doing something about it, and be upfront and honest about what you are able to do and what you're not able to do. I think that goes a long way. I think all of us realize that in this period.
Fabulous lessons. One last word from you, Puneet.
Just that, as bad as COVID was, it accelerated the speed of change and the openness of people to embrace change. That was good.
Let's give them the new COVID heroes, I would say. Let's give them a very warm round of applause for what they've done. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Please raise a warm round applause for our panelists as I call upon Rajiv Kohli, General Manager, the New India Assurance CO Limited. Company Limited. Can I please get him on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together for a round of applause for our panelists. Thank you, gentlemen. Give us about 10 seconds and we are ready to go for our show and tell session. How I airwalked from the rooftop to the skies. To take it from here, may I please invite session's moderator, Saurabh Dwivedi, editor, thelallantop.com, and India Today Hindi to come up on stage and take it from here.
नमस्कार देवियों और सज्जनों, इंडिया टुडे कॉन्क्लेव में आपका इस सत्र में बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। हिंदुस्तान कामयाबियों की कई नई कहानियां लिख रहा है और ये ज़रूरी तो नहीं कि हर कहानी किसी बड़े शहर और किसी चमकीली रोशनी के नीचे ही शुरू हो। हमारी इस सीरीज़ यंग ब्राइट माइंड्स में अगली पेशकश राजस्थान का एक लड़का बॉक्सर बनना चाहता था। हम में से ज़्यादातर के पिताओं की तरह उन्होंने भी कहा, इसमें क्या करियर है, क्यों ही खेलना है। फिर उसने डांस करना शुरू कर दिया। पिता ने अपना इंस्ट्रक्शन दोहरा दिया, इसमें क्या फ़ायदा, पढ़ाई करो। पर वो चोरी चोरी चुपके चुपके वीडियो बनाता रहा और एक रोज़ पिता को पता चल गया, क्योंकि अमिताभ बच्चन ने उसके बारे में ट्वीट कर दिया था। इस कमाल के परफॉर्मर का नाम है बाबा जैक्सन। ये सिर्फ ट्रेलर है, पिक्चर अभी बाकी है। लेकिन इससे पहले कि युवराज अपनी फाइनल परफॉर्मेंस करें बतौर बाबा जैक्सन, थोड़ा जान लीजिए इनकी कहानी। माइक प्लीज।
हेलो एवरीवन।
जोधपुर से इंडिया टुडे कॉन्क्लेव के मंच तक का सफ़र, पर इसकी शुरुआत कैसे हुई? कैसे पता चला आपको कि दुनिया में एक बहुत ही कमाल के शख्स हुए हैं जिनका नाम माइकल जैक्सन है?
हमने उनका नाम ज़रूर सुना था, लेकिन कभी देखा नहीं था, क्योंकि अभी क्या है, जैसे हमेशा मतलब आजकल क्या हो गया है कि छोटे छोटे बच्चों के पास मोबाइल है। ऐसा होता नहीं था, मतलब 2015-16 और इस टाइम में बच्चों के पास मोबाइल वगैरह होता नहीं था, तो हम जानते नहीं थे कि माइकल जैक्सन कौन है। लेकिन मेरा पता नहीं क्या था, मैं टीवी ज़्यादा देखता था, और ये थोड़ा कहना थोड़ा अजीब होगा कि टीवी देखने से मुझे इंस्पिरेशन मिला, क्योंकि टीवी में मैं डांस ज़्यादा देखता था, डांस, म्यूज़िक और हीरोज़ और ऋतिक रोशन सर, प्रभुदेवा सर। तो वो टीवी देखने से, वो डांस देखने से, उससे मुझे इंस्पिरेशन मिली। और कुछ कारण थे जो बचपन से मैं, क्या माँ बाप क्या चुप कराने के लिए टीवी के सामने बैठा देते थे, तो वहीं से ही इंस्पिरेशन वगैरह ऐसे देखने से ही हुआ है। और ऑफ कोर्स प्रैक्टिस वगैरह मैं अपनी परछाई को देख के करता था।
हाँ, ये बताइए ज़रा, आपने डांस कहाँ सीखा? अपनी परछाई से कैसे सीखा?
हाँ, वैसे अपनी परछाई से ऐसा कह सकते हैं, क्योंकि शीशा वगैरह था नहीं, ऐसे परछाई वगैरह देख के ही स्टेप वगैरह अपने आप को देखना। तो बट कभी सोचा नहीं था कि इस स्टेज पे आऊँगा, आप बड़े लोगों के बीच में ऐसा परफॉर्म करने का मौका मिलेगा, तो मैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा शुक्रगुजार हूँ आप लोगों का।
अच्छा,
थैंक यू सो मच।
इससे पहले कि आपकी परफॉर्मेंस शुरू हो, मैंने आपके हालिया वीडियो देखे जिसमें आप गांव की कुछ लड़कियों के साथ डांस कर रहे हैं, छोटी छोटी बच्चियों के साथ। गली गर्ल्स नाम है।
जी,
वो क्या है, ज़रा बताइए।
बिल्कुल, गली गर्ल्स मेरे छोटे बच्चे, मैंने जैसे मेरा वीडियोस वायरल हुए थे, उनके भी वीडियोस वायरल हुए थे। वो बहुत ही निम्न स्तर से, ऐसे स्तर पे हैं, लेकिन वो डांस ऐसा करते हैं कि देखने वाला ताली बजाए। और ऐसे मैंने भी उनके वीडियोस वगैरह देखे, और वो बहुत अच्छा डांस करते हैं। पैरों में जूते नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी डांस ऐसा करते हैं कि अच्छे को जूते उतारने पे मजबूर कर दे। तो मैंने उनका डांस देखा, और जिस तरह अमिताभ बच्चन सर ने मुझे सपोर्ट किया, मेरा ट्वीट किया, मैं भी चाहता हूँ कि मैं किसी को सपोर्ट करूँ, किसी के काम मैं आऊँ, क्योंकि
गांव की वो गरीब लड़कियां जिनके पास जूते नहीं है लेकिन इरादे हैं।
बिल्कुल इरादे, बिल्कुल। मेरा ये है कि ज़िंदगी में कामयाबी मिले नहीं मिले, आपके पास बड़ा बंगला हो, पैसे कम हो ज़्यादा हो, लेकिन एक इंसान अच्छा हो। और मेरा ये क्या है कि बस ज़िंदगी में जब एंड हो ना, जब ज़िंदगी का एंड हो, तो एक संतुष्टि होनी चाहिए कि हाँ यार, किसी के काम आ गए हम।
युवराज, हमें बहुत खुशी है कि आप न सिर्फ अच्छा डांस करते हैं, बल्कि आपके ख्याल भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। ज़्यादातर लोग सोच रहे हैं कि ये बातचीत कब खत्म हो और हम आपकी परफॉर्मेंस देख पाएँ। सो प्लीज़ गिव मी द माइक, ओवर टू यू। जोरदार तालियां। राजस्थान से आए युवराज सिंह, सिर्फ 19 साल की उम्र, मिलियंस से ज्यादा फॉलोअर इंस्टाग्राम पर। थैंक यू सो मच युवराज।
थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप यहाँ पर आए। बहुत, हम सबको बहुत पसंद आया। बस 2 मिनट और रुके रहिए। May I please call Mr. Abhishek Khaitan, Managing Director, Radico Khaitan, to come up on stage. And ladies and gentlemen, we can do better than that. Please put your hands together. He's been fabulously entertaining. That's Baba Jackson for you. All right, All right, as we go into our next session, right before that, ladies and gentlemen, on our 20th edition of the India Today Conclave, may I please call upon Ms. Kali Puri, Vice Chairperson, India Today Group, on stage to deliver the vote of thanks.
See, that's the benefit of being a conclave director. You can program yourself between two fantastic sessions. Got you all in a good mood with Baba Jackson, and Malaika is going to be coming in next. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being part of our 20th edition. I've had the privilege of being a part of all 20 conclaves. In 2002, at our first conclave, our theme was Building an Indian Century. So it's fitting that in our 20th edition, we're celebrating the India moment. What a phenomenal, crackling, scintillating 2 days, and the best is still to come. The secret of our success of being the foremost conference in the country for thought leadership, constant innovation. When we started 20 years ago, we had 16 speakers, and today, 55. We had a reach of 500 people live at the venue, and now a reach of 500 million. We are change addicts. I love shiny new things. So today, at this momentous conference, I introduce you to another future, our first bot, AI, collaborative anchor. She is bright, gorgeous, ageless, tireless, and speaks in multiple languages, and totally under my control, at least for now. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, Sana. Hey, Sana.
Thank you, Kali, for having me here. I am so honored to be here with the ever-growing conclave audience joining us from around the world. I am very lucky to have been chosen as Aaj Tak AI's launch anchor from among the hundreds of candidates evaluated for the job. Starting next week, I will bring the following programs on Aaj Tak AI every day. Daily news updates several times a day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will soon be addressing this special 20th edition of India Today Conclave. Since I am multilingual, the news updates will be in several languages. Here are samples of just 3. प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी बहुत जल्द इंडिया टुडे के इस बेहद खास 20वें संस्करण को संबोधित करने वाले हैं। প্রধানমন্ত্রী নরেন্দ্র মোদী খুব শীঘ্রই ইন্ডিয়া টুডের এই বিশেষ অনুষ্ঠানে 20তম সংস্করণে বক্তব্য পেশ করবেন। પ્રધાનમંત્રી નરેન્દ્ર મોદી ટૂંક સમયમાં ઇન્ડિયા ટુડેના આ ખૂબ જ ખાસ 20મા સંસ્કરણને સંબોધિત કરવાના છે. Yes, that was me showing off. In a new show, I will explain one topic of relevance in some detail every day. आसान भाषा में. I am starting a show in which I will answer your questions. You can ask me anything under the sun. सना से पूछो. Thank you once again, Kali, for the opportunity. I hope to make you and the India Today group proud.
Thanks, Sana. So Sana is going to have a human surrogate editor. I never thought I would say something like that, but here it is. And hopefully company very soon. She doesn't take away from the brilliance of our real life anchors. They will have to mentor her to create the next best generation of India Today anchors. If there's one thing I have learned from this intense AI immersion, it's that it's not a competition between humans and AI, at least not yet. And that collaboration is leading to creative magic. The future is fascinating and frightening, and it's here. I want to use this platform to say something else. There is a new trend with calling media sold out, the famous Godi media. People are always sidling up to me to ask me, tell me honestly, privately, off record, is there a lot of pressure? I want to use this platform to say, yes, there is pressure. We get pressure from political parties, business houses, foreign governments, and larger-than-life professionals. It's not new, and it's not singular. We were threatened by a blanket advertising ban for 10 years by the largest industrial house for running a cover story they did not want us to run. The cover story went. We were warned by an ambassador with dire consequences for inviting the Dalai Lama as a speaker at the conclave. He was invited and hosted. We had a political party recall all its 24 ministers who were speakers at the conclave hours before the conclave because they didn't like the questions we raised. The show went on. And this is all before 2014. The only difference is the pressure can now be more organized and sustained because we're in the age of eternal digital imprints and toxic, trigger-happy social media and advanced monitoring tech tools. And the retribution, it gets sharper. Boycott the channel, campaigns, troll armies uninstalling our apps, bots downgrading our ratings, and we are offended cases pile up. But it's not just media that is dealing with this pressure. It's a churn. It's the new normal. What makes us willing and able to stand this pressure? Why do I stand here before you today? Two simple reasons. One, we are not in any other business. There is no ambiguity in interest or objectives, no unholy compromises to protect any other commercial interests. This is the only domain we are in. And to be true to it, I must protect the facts the best I know in a moment in time. Our credibility is sacred to us. We live and die by the stories we tell. And before you roll your eyes and recount the times we fail, please remember only God and the dead are perfect. And even those are being questioned these days. Secondly, we stand this pressure because we are truly an unbelievable, enviable team, a dream league, a tribe that aligns around the same core values of journalism, to tell the stories without fear or favor, backed by a financial team that gives us independence, resilience, and compliance. This team includes our amazing, supportive, wonderful sponsors. Thank you very much. And in the end, the highest compliment to us as a media company is not that you agree with us or that we are right, but you go away saying, hey, they made me think. I hope these 2 days were living, breathing proof of just that. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again put your hands together for our Vice Chairperson of the India Today Group. With that, we're going to quickly go into our next session. Busting bubbles on love, sex, ageism, and topping the body beautiful conversation for 25 years. And we've somebody coming up next who epitomizes all of that and more. But before that, I want to introduce you to our session's moderator, my colleague Nabila Jamal, anchor and deputy editor, India Today Television.
Guys, a big round of applause. Malaika Arora. 30 years on, ever since Chaya Chaya, almost 25 years on, and she's still relevant, trumping over every other actor. And in the imagination and the dreams of possibly every age group, Malaika is here with us at our 20th edition of the Conclave. A big round of applause to her, please. Thank you. Hey, Malaika. Mala.
Mala, as they all say. Hi, Veer, how are you? Good evening, everybody. Hi.
You know, our talk here today is topping the body beautiful conversation for 25 damn years. You really haven't aged a minute or a second. I don't know how you've done it.
I live in an oxygen tank, in a bubble that that's where I live.
No,
but first,
it's very
weird seeing all of this behind me over here. It's like, I've never had so many images put up like this, but yeah, that's quite interesting.
Hey, don't tell me you're not self-obsessed.
Not really, actually.
No?
No.
At
really.
all?
Not self-obsessed. I think I'm just very confident. That's it. I'm not self-obsessed.
I mean, being self-obsessed is not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad. I love myself. I love myself, but I'm not self-obsessed. Yeah.
Okay. You know, Malaika, someone was telling me here today, people can imitate her, but you can never get a duplicate. You know, you'll have enough and more actresses or producers and directors have a mood board often specifying a look like Malaika, but somehow they don't get a Malaika.
Okay. You know, that mold was broken once they made me. God said that we just one Malaika and then break that mold. That's what he said. But no, I think that's a really nice and a really sweet compliment. Spanning over 30 years, I think it's been amazing, but it's not been easy. Like you said, for a woman to stay relevant in the business that we are in is probably the most difficult. And also seeing a room full of so many men over here. Wow. I mean, I can see very, very few women around over here, far more men in black suits. So Hello, all women over here. How are you doing? Yeah. Good to see that. When I was outside there, I said, wow, there's a lot of men out there. I'm not complaining about it, but yeah, just the...
but maybe I should tell you something, Malaika. What a fan following you have. And look at the media, the paparazzi chasing you literally everywhere. All the young actors are probably dying to get the kind of fame that you have. How have you achieved it with just a few item numbers, but yet managed to stay so relevant? Look, is it all about the looks and the beauty, or is it a lot more to Malaika that we don't know of, and that maybe the paps see? And what we see on screen and what you are in person?
Well, paps are just a tiny part of our lives, just a very, very minuscule part of our lives. But I think I'm more than just a few songs, right?
Yeah.
A few item songs or special songs that you have in films. I'm a lot more than that. Yes, I think initially that's all one was looked at as, oh, she's just a pretty face or a great body, or she looks fantastic on screen when she dances, moves well. But I think, like I said, and I say that again, to kind of span over 30 years and stay relevant is not easy. And I don't think you can actually just do that kind of just harboring on good looks, because at some point those looks are gonna fade away and all of that's gonna go away. So you gotta have to move beyond those, beyond that look. And I'm very happy and very proud to say that I'm part of a business where I'm not an actress per se. I'm not a quintessential actress. I've not done a full-fledged film in my entire span of career so far. But still, I'm part of the industry and I get the kind of love and all the respect that any actress in the industry does.
And that was precisely my point. You have several actors coming up with great commercial successes, but Malaika is what really takes away the highlight most often.
Well, that's very sweet.
And I think that what establishes that all the more is your latest reality series, where Malaika was really the main protagonist. Where do you see a reality series revolving around one person?
True. That was probably the most difficult part of doing something in my life, and I think I've kind of touched upon various things in my life, whether it's dancing, whether it's a bit of acting, whether it's modeling, on ramp, finally moving on to being an entrepreneur. But I think this part of being on a part of a reality show was very, 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 very tough for me, because I had to actually open up as a person that I've never ever done, and be a person that I've never ever thought I would be. But yeah, it was very tough just being a solo, single protagonist and showing the world and showing everybody things that actually piss me off, things that actually bug me, or things that actually, that I need to talk about. So it was very tough, but I managed, and I had a fantastic time with moving in with Malaika. It really was.
But may I know, and I'm sure all of our audience here would really love to know, behind this sexy Malaika, the sex symbol that you are, the symbol of beauty and ageism that you are, what are your true insecurities, if you may?
Firstly, I love being called a sex symbol. I have no qualms about being a sex symbol. I'd rather be known as a sex symbol than being called plain Jane.
Absolutely.
I'm very happy. I like that tag. In terms of insecurities, I think I live with insecurities every day of my life, something or the other, because at some point I know that there is somebody younger, prettier, more talented, probably a lot more going for her every single day of my life. And for me to stay focused or stay in a space where I behave like where it doesn't get to me is a very difficult thing, but I have to stay and keep my head above the water, because I know every single day that is probably shoved into my face. And single mother, divorce, I'm not going to harp on it, but it's always thrown at my face every single day. So for me to stay above the game is very tough. So I think these are probably these are my insecurities that I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Sure, and not debating that, but you do come from a privileged background. Or at least you've made your way up, no doubt.
I would actually correct you there. I don't think I come from a privileged background. I think I come from a very, 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 very non-privileged background. But I worked my way...
What age did you get married?
I got married when I was 22.
Yeah, really young.
I got married when I was 22. But I come from a background where it had absolutely no connection with any of this. But I worked my way, through, and I worked my way around to be where I am today. So I don't really say that I come from a privileged background. I've really worked hard to be where I am
Absolutely,
today.
no doubt. And in fact, I had one of my colleagues saying that while at a time there were definitions to what a height of a model should be, Malaika at 5-something was a supermodel. She was a showstopper, and that itself, you've proven a lot of them wrong.
Yeah, all of 5'3" and a half. Yeah. And every time somebody sees me, the first thing they say, "Oh my God, we thought you're much taller, you're much larger, you're much bigger." So, and I say, well, pictures and TV do lie. They kind of don't really project that too well. So yes, in a space where, in the modeling business where everybody was 5'10" or whatever, 5'8" and above, and here I was 5'3", I kind of made my mark over there, and that felt good. I never ever felt like I was a 5'3" girl, ever.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's precisely what I'm saying. You've managed to really step up with everything that you took on, be it item numbers. You really, none can beat a Malaika on screen with an item number. Modeling, you were really the face, a showstopper then, a showstopper now. So to keep it going, it must have been hard. You've been part of a family that's been, a powerful family.
A very integral part of the industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you believe that a lot of your fame, would you attribute it to the family that you were married into, and how does it feel today when you've parted ways and you're out, you're a single mother? What's that transition like? How's it been?
Well, of course. I mean, it did have a lot of benefits in my life, but I don't think I could rest on the fact that I had a famous surname. I don't think that was my inroad to everything that I wanted to do in life. Yes, it did open up a lot of doors, but for me. But I think at the end of the day, I had to work irrespective of what my married surname was, and I had to work hard. I had to prove myself every single day of my life to stay in the game. And the day I did have that surname, and I went back to my maiden surname, I still continued to work, and I still continued to make a difference, and I still continued to...
Did you still get the love and the warmth and that reception?
I did, and I'll be very honest. I had a lot of people tell me that, I'll be very, very honest. I had loads of people tell me that I'm making the biggest mistake of dropping the surname. Lots of people telling me that, because everybody said, you don't realize the kind of weightage a surname has. And I have a lot of respect for my ex-in-laws and my ex-family. I do have loads of respect for them because they've given me a lot of love. I have a kid, that is still there and very much part of the family. So of course, but I think for me, I needed to stand on my own 2 feet, and for that I needed to feel that. And it's not just about a surname, but I think just being able to drop that surname and go back to my maiden name, it just gave me a sense of self, and that's what made me feel like I could probably do anything or take on anything in life.
And look what you made of yourself after.
I'm still a work in progress, actually.
Oh my God, you're stunning. But Malaika, in today's day and age, with society having that many judgments about how a woman should be, what a woman should do, what kind of a guy a woman can date, how old a guy or woman should date, your relationship, your current status, you're dating a guy younger, and you face that criticism almost on a daily basis. Maybe, how do you take that on? And what would be your message to all the naysayers?
I think it's amazing. I was told when I got divorced, I was told, why the hell did you get divorced? Because that tag will always be there. And then to find love after getting divorced, that was another thing. How can she find love after getting divorced? And then finding love with a younger man, I was clearly told that I have lost my marbles, but I would just like to say that love doesn't really have an age, right? I mean, if you fall in love, you fall in love. And I think, irrespective of whether he's a younger man or an older man, that shouldn't really define the space that we are in. And I'm just happy and grateful that I found a partner who understands me. So be it. I mean, if he's younger, so be it. I think the fact that he is younger keeps me younger. It keeps me happy and keeps me younger. And I feel, I don't know, I just feel on top of the world. And I think all the women in the room will agree with me on that.
Ooh.
I can see that. I can see that look on your face over here. It really does, yeah.
You certainly have motivated a whole bunch of us.
I think, yeah.
Or them.
I think it definitely gives me that spring in my step. So I love it.
I know.
And I'm not going to be apologetic about it. And why should I be apologetic?
Absolutely. How's that influenced you? Has that influenced you in ways that we might want to know, you might want to tell us?
Influenced me?
Yeah, in whatever sense. It's given you a spring in your step, yes. But how has life changed, or has it changed at all? Have you now turned into a leaf that you've never seen of yourself before?
No, I don't think. I mean, I still am the same person. I mean, no part of me has changed. It's just that I'm now with somebody that I truly love and I truly get, and he gets me, and we have a great relationship and a great commitment to each other. And I think that's what matters. I think it's really redundant for people to be in a space or in a relationship if you're not happy. And if you're not going to keep somebody happy or make someone happy, and if I'm going to be unhappy and make somebody else unhappy, I think that's just the most selfish thing you can ever do, to anybody. So that's exactly how I was, and I feel I just say that I'm just lucky. I'm lucky that I can find love and be in love and have a relationship and move on in life and be able to tell people that, you know what, if you're not okay with it, that's your problem.
You know, you can hate me for this. I'm sure a lot of them will, but hey, is marriage on the cards with Arjun?
Why is marriage the be-all and end-all of everything?
Which is why I had that clause, the caveat, you can hate me for this question.
No. I think, firstly, I think that's a very private question. I think marriage is something which is discussed between two people, and I don't think it's a collective decision between, among a billion people in the country. So yeah, I think when, if, how, when, where, I think that's something the two of us, if we have to take that plunge, I think we will think about it and we will decide and we will talk about it. In this moment, I think we are just loving life. That's it. I think we're enjoying our pre-honeymoon phase. That's what we're doing. We're just loving life.
You know, a quick one on co-parenting and being a single mother. Tell us the challenges that you may be facing at this point today on dealing with a teenage son and very handsome boy that you have.
Thank you.
Lovely boy. And with the complexities that we see in the society and who you are, what kind of a mother-son relationship do you all share?
I think firstly, co-parenting is very tough. I mean, it's very, very tough because not always are, two people on the same page about a lot of things. Especially, I mean, when you move separate, go your own ways, your separate ways, there's always something that's not, that doesn't quite fit into the picture. So co-parenting is tough, but, I see time's up. But I think thankfully, both Arbaz and me are better humans today. I think we're better people today. And I'm really proud of the fact that we can coexist and be able to give our child...
love lost.
And no love lost. And give our child all the love and attention that he needs, he deserves. And I think we're there for him every step of the way. And irrespective the fact that his parents are not together, but we are together as a unit when we need to be together. And I think that's what matters.
I know time's up, but Malaika, you did this stand-up act, and I really want to know the challenges. And you really killed it with that comedy act in your reality series. What was the real challenge to that? And was it all impromptu?
Wow, I don't know how many. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of... Has anybody in the room seen my stand-up act? Yeah? Yeah, thanks so much for that, really. And if you haven't, then please go and try and watch it. But it was the most daunting task for me. I never ever thought I had a funny bone in my body, let alone try and make anybody laugh, because I don't think that comes very naturally to me. So yeah, it was very tough. But I think when I threw myself out there, it only goes to show that I think when a challenge is thrown at you, you kind of take it on head on and you just say, you know what, bring it on. I'll do it. I'll prove everybody wrong and I'll do it. I'll prove myself wrong. I mean, I don't think I can, but I'll do it. And wow, I think the most difficult thing on God's good earth is making a room full of people laugh. And I can see it right now because it's not very easy to impress people or make people laugh. So that for me was the most difficult, to actually see people getting what you're saying, laughing with you, laughing at you, with you. Initially, they probably laugh at you, but along the way, they laugh with you.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that was by far the best experience for me, was the stand-up, without a doubt.
Excellent. I think I totally loved you in it. And Malaika, what you're wearing today is also stunning. And you really have set the benchmark for when it comes to style.
And in fact, I said my stand-up was called MILF.
Yeah.
It was called MILF, and that's what it said. It says, man, I look fabulous, and I will continue to look fabulous. till
You
my
absolutely do. A big round of applause. And before I let you go, can I take a 30-second rapid fire with you? Malaika.
Shoot away.
Money or movies?
Sorry?
Money or movies?
Money.
Ooh. Chaya Chaya or Muni Badnaam Hui?
Chaya Chaya.
What is Jandu Baam? What does Jandu Baam hai darling tere liye mean? Jandu Baam ho darling tere liye.
It means balm lagao, darling. Agar dard ho to balm laga do. I guess that's what it means. I don't know.
Okay. Shah Rukh or Salman?
I'm a hardcore Shah Rukh fan.
Okay. Who's more famous, you or your ex?
Oh, I don't know. I think I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I'm famous.
Who's more popular, you or your present?
I think I'm just more popular.
Who's more popular, you or your present?
We both are extremely popular.
All right. What do you see? Who do you see as mini Malaika, if at all, in the industry today? Do you see anyone who you see your reflection in?
No. I said that mold was broken.
Literally no. Huh? And if I have to ask you to pick Janvi, Sara, Ananya, or Kiara?
Kiara, because I think she's supremely talented. And I think she's really made a mark for herself. And I think the other girls are still, making a mark. But I think Janvi of the lot then.
Janvi of the lot.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. A big round of applause here for Malaika.
Thank you so much.
If we could get you have one dance, one hook step for us, what would be your choice? In fact, Dipali is there waiting to get you to tap a foot. Dipali, why don't you come over?
Hey, Dipali, come join me. Hi. Come on, everybody. Let's give
What would
Dipali
be
a
your
huge
choice?
round of applause. Why don't we leave it to Dipali, whatever she wants to do? Yeah.
Chaya Chaya Re.
Do a hook step from your latest film. Can we have that song, please? Aap Jaisa Koi.
Ooh, okay. Let's. For Malaika. Thank you so much. I'm not too sure, but if anyone has a question here that you want to ask, Rahul, maybe you? No? Anybody? You could raise your hand. A question for Malaika?
Oh, we are doing questions?
Yeah, no, just.
There's a mic right here. Do you want to pass that around?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. You. Do you want to ask a question? Your relationship with your sister Amrita?
My relationship with my sister is fantastic. We are two peas in a pod, and I think my life would be incomplete without her. We have our fair share of disagreements every day of our life, but yeah, she understands me. We actually are two peas in a pod. So yeah, we have a great relationship.
Malaika, let me ask you a question right here. Here. I'm the MC. This way, okay. Turn around. I'm on the stage with you.
Oh, sorry.
I want to ask you just one question, and then we'll end the session, which is, I'm sure with the choices that you've made, you do deal with a lot of sexism on an everyday basis, be it online or print. How do you deal with that? Because you're doing a super job.
Okay. I have a very, very simple way of dealing with it. I ignore it. That's the way I deal with it. And I think it's easier said than done, because I know there are a lot of people around me who are affected by it on a daily basis. Probably the younger me would have been affected, would have been very demoralized. But I think today I'm a lot calmer as a person, and a lot more, I can probably handle a situation better. So yes, I think the best way is I shut any kind of bullshit, any kind of trolling, any kind of toxicity or negativity. I block that out of my life. And it's not a way of being unaware of it. I'm completely aware of what's happening, but I think I prefer to have it completely out of my life, because I think that's the only way I can lead a better and a happier life.
All right, just more power to you. Everybody
you.
put your hands
Thank
together.
you.
That's Malaika Arora. And may I please call upon Mr. Nitin Seth, Vice Chairman, TOPS, to come up and present a small token of our appreciation to Malaika. Ladies and gentlemen, do put your hands together. Thank you, Malaika. Bye. Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do is, because you do know, our keynote speaker is the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and we need to get into a quick security check drill. So I request you all to step outside, and we have a bit of a cocktail hour going. So enjoy your canopies and your cocktails, and we'll be right back. Do carry your identity cards with you, and we'll see you on the other side of this quick security drill.
We dared to see India differently, to build a better life for you. You deserve a fulfilling life. Your smile inspired us during the pandemic. We delivered the knowledge to the curious ones. We wish for your dreams to fly as our flights do. Now 1.3 billion Indians can explore the world of opportunities. We are here, transforming tomorrow, today. We are NEC.
Vehicles can be environmentally friendly. Renewable energy can be stable. Our modern lives can be sustainable for the planet. Let's change our perspective and not take our resources for granted. Hitachi is inspiring the world through digital and green technologies. Hitachi's social innovation is powering good.
Can I tell you my dream? We want to make people happier by connecting machines to everything.
Hitachi is collaborating with Suntory Beverage and Food Limited to provide products that are safer by tracking them individually. And by connecting building equipment and optimizing healthcare digitally, we will provide a more comfortable and healthier life.
People can be happier when they're digitally connected.
Oh, I'd love to be connected.
From a land older than time, amidst the magnificent palaces, enveloped in the mystic fog, where the elusive tigers exude a timeless valor. India's finest yet. For connoisseurs of fine taste. Royal Ranthambore.
Mixed pickle. Mango. Green chili. Tops pickles. अब 51 flavors में. Tops. इंडिया का टॉप टेस्ट. ये किचन कुछ खास है. कुकिंग का यहाँ अलग अंदाज है. कभी दिल दही बल्ले की विश करता है, तो कभी ये सालसा करता है. पिज्जा पास्ता अपना जादू दिखाता है. और शेजवान सॉस देखो कैसे रंग जमाती है. देसी क्या चाइनीज में भी यहाँ तड़का पड़ता है. दिल कभी रेड कभी ग्रीन चिली पे मरता है. तो आज ही टॉप सॉसेस की वाइड रेंज घर लाएं और हर दिन कुछ नया बनाइए. टॉप्स, इंडिया का टॉप टेस्ट.
We dared to see India differently to build a better life for you. You deserve a fulfilling life. Your smile inspired us during the pandemic. We delivered the knowledge to the curious ones. We wish for your dreams to fly as our flights do. Now 1.3 billion Indians can explore the world of opportunities. We are here, transforming tomorrow, today. We are NEC.
Vehicles can be environmentally friendly. Renewable energy can be stable. Our modern lives can be sustainable for the planet. Let's change our perspective and not take our resources for granted. Hitachi is inspiring the world through digital and green technologies. Hitachi's social innovation is powering good.
Can I tell you my dream? We want to make people happier by connecting machines to everything.
Hitachi is collaborating with Suntory Beverage and Food Limited to provide products that are safer by tracking them individually. And by connecting building equipment and optimizing healthcare digitally, we will provide a more comfortable and healthier life.
People can be happier when they're digitally connected.
Oh, I'd love to be connected.
From a land older than time, amidst the magnificent palaces, enveloped in the mystic fog, where the elusive tigers exude a timeless valor, comes India's finest yet. For connoisseurs of fine taste, Royal Ranthambore.
Mixed pickle. Mango. Green chili. Tops pickles. अब 51 flavors में. Tops. इंडिया का टॉप टेस्ट. ये किचन कुछ खास है. कुकिंग का यहाँ अलग अंदाज है. कभी दिल दही बल्ले की विश करता है, तो कभी ये सालसा करता है. पिज्जा पास्ता अपना जादू दिखाता है. और शेजवान सॉस देखो कैसे रंग जमाती है. देसी क्या चाइनीज में भी यहाँ तड़का पड़ता है. दिल कभी रेड कभी ग्रीन चिली पे मरता है. तो आज ही टॉप सॉसेस की वाइड रेंज घर लाएं और हर दिन कुछ नया बनाइए. टॉप्स, इंडिया का टॉप टेस्ट.
We dared to see India differently to build a better life for you. You deserve a fulfilling life. Your smile inspired us during the pandemic. We delivered the knowledge to the curious ones. We wish for your dreams to fly as our flights do. Now 1.3 billion Indians can explore the world of opportunities. We are here, transforming tomorrow, today. We are NEC.
we're hearing is that the Prime Minister has already reached the venue anytime now. We will have him on stage, our gala keynote session, befitting that our two-day conclave concludes with no one else but the man who's driving the India moment, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the man who's driving the India moment, creating new India, scripting it literally. Do raise a warm applause. Prime Minister, our honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
समस्याओं का समाधान भारत की धरती पर दुनिया खोजने लगी है दोस्तों.
May I please
invite? Partnership is more than just what we do. It's about who we are.
Prime Minister Modi is one of those people in the world who is capable of conducting an independent foreign policy in the interest of its nation,
while others chose to withhold supplies. India's vaccine outreach exemplified its principles of equality and mutual benefit.
India deserves to be called a bright spot on this or otherwise darker horizon.
India has a very strong leadership and knowledge and skills, innovation in IT technology and fintech.
Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, we owe you a debt of gratitude. When the world locked its borders and globalization failed, you showed the world that globalization can still succeed and there is still love when the hardest of times hit us.
Prime Minister Modi has reached, I think, is the most loved one of all around the world.
We are the first country to have a green strategic partnership with the great India.
India will have probably the greatest growth rate, the fastest growth rate economically.
Progress of India in these last years has been remarkable and extraordinary, and I think the position of India now is potentially more powerful than it's ever been.
I think there's excitement about India taking the baton. Prime Minister Modi made an excellent speech at the close of the summit.
You are an inspiration for the rest of the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, driving the India moment. Driving the India moment, our political rock star Narendra Modi. May I please invite our chairman and editor-in-chief, Mr. Arun Puri, to come up and say a few words, sir.
Good evening, Honorable Prime Minister. आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है. आप 7वीं बार कॉन्क्लेव में आए हैं, इसके लिए मैं आपका बहुत आभारी हूं. प्रधानमंत्री जी, in the last 9 years, we all know you have transformed the country with your exemplary hard work, good innovative schemes, and new initiatives. Your global outreach has been unprecedented. So a lot is known about your life. So, honored guests, I would like to mention just 2 aspects about the Prime Minister which I have observed. First, that he's very far-sighted. Somebody who works for him told me that while his team is still collecting the dots, the Prime Minister has already connected the dots. And they only figure it out much later when the whole picture emerges. Let me give you two examples of this. Soon as he took over in 2014, the Prime Minister started talking about implementing JAM, Trinity, Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, and mobile. It meant, apart from opening Jan Dhan bank accounts for millions, linking these accounts to Aadhaar and mobile meant going digital. All this trinity came into play when the various welfare schemes, mainly for the poor, were launched over the years. This solved the massive leakage problem of government welfare expenditure in one stroke. Earlier, Rajiv Gandhi, the Prime Minister, had said beneficiaries got only 15 paisa out of every 1 rupee of government expenditure. Now the money goes directly to the beneficiaries. So it started all in the beginning. The second example I would like to bring to you is the development of the Northeast states. The Prime Minister focused on this at the start of his first term, bringing connectivity and development to a neglected part of India. He believed that developing the smallest, furthest, and neglected states of India would set a very good example. In 9 years, his visits to the Northeast were more than all the Prime Ministers of India had done since independence. Also, one minister of his had to visit the Northeast every month. The result is that he has developed the Northeast like never before, and the people have paid him back electorally. Earlier, it used to be regional parties versus Congress. Now it is BJP versus regional parties. In 2014, 8 of the Northeast states were ruled by the BJP. Now, alone or in coalition, they rule 6 states in the region. The other major aspect of the Prime Minister, which I find fascinating, is the much varied experiences he has had. These go beyond his official life. He's traveled all over India extensively on his own before he was Chief Minister or Prime Minister. He spent at least one night or more in every district of India, however remote they would have been. He spent talking and listening to them and seeing what their needs were. This is what you would call zameen se juda hua aadmi. I believe this is why he understands the needs and knows the pulse of this country so well. Sir, आप बुरा ना मानो तो मैं एक बात कहना चाहता हूँ. मीडिया आपके सरकार से बड़ी परेशान है. हाँ, आपकी सरकार से कोई जानकारी लीक नहीं होती, जैसे पहले सरकारों से होती थी. किसी को पता नहीं होता कि कौन आपका प्रेसिडेंशियल कैंडिडेट बनेगा. रीशफल का तो भूल ही जाओ. और राज्य में कौन बनेगा मुख्यमंत्री जब मौका आता है, कोई खबर नहीं. गुस्ताखी माफ. मैं ये भी सोचा शायद आपका इसका ये जवाब क्या देंगे. मैं बोलूं? आप बोलेंगे अरुण भाई मैं आपकी दुकान क्यों चलाऊं. But jokes apart, but I do believe government and media should not be cozy. Sir, you came to the conclave in March 2013 as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. You won the 2014 general election handsomely and became the Prime Minister. Then you came to the conclave in March 2019, and you were re-elected as Prime Minister in May 2019 with an even bigger majority. Sir, you could say maybe we are your lucky charm. The next general election is due in May 2024. As I said, you're a far-sighted person. So you should come again for the India Today Conclave in March 2024, just to be sure. Pradhan Mantri ji, this conclave is about the India moment. You are the man of the moment. May I request you to deliver your speech. Dhanyavad.
आज आपकी दुकान मैं ही चला लेता हूँ। इंडिया टुडे कॉन्क्लेव में जुड़े सभी महानुभावों को मेरा नमस्कार। देश विदेश से जो दर्शक, पाठक डिजिटल माध्यम से हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं, उनका भी अभिनंदन। मुझे देखकर अच्छा लगा कि इस कॉन्क्लेव की थीम है द इंडिया मोमेंट। आज दुनिया के बड़े बड़े इकोनॉमिस्ट, एनालिस्ट, थिंकर्स सभी कहते हैं कि ये, और एक स्वर में कहते हैं, इट इज इंडियाज मोमेंट। लेकिन जब इंडिया टुडे ग्रुप ये ऑप्टिमिज्म दिखाता है तो ये एक्स्ट्रा स्पेशल है। वैसे मैंने 20 महीने पहले लाल किले से कहा था, यही समय है, सही समय है। लेकिन यहाँ पहुँचते पहुँचते 20 महीने लग गए। तब भी भावना यही थी, दिस इज इंडियाज मोमेंट। साथियों, किसी भी राष्ट्र की विकास यात्रा में अनेक उतार चढ़ाव आते रहते हैं, कई पड़ाव आते हैं। आज 21वीं सदी के इस दशक में भारत के सामने जो टाइम पीरियड आया है, ये अभूतपूर्व है। आज के कुछ दशक पहले जो देश आगे बढ़े, कई देश आगे बढ़े हैं, विकसित हुए, लेकिन उनके सामने स्थितियां बहुत अलग थी। एक तरह से उनका मुकाबला खुद से ही था, उनके सामने इतनी प्रतिस्पर्धा नहीं थी। लेकिन आज जिन परिस्थितियों में भारत आगे बढ़ रहा है, वे चुनौतियां बहुत ही अलग है, बहुत ही व्यापक है, विविधताओं से भरी हुई है। आज इतने सारे ग्लोबल चैलेंजेस हैं। अब देखिए, 100 साल में आई सबसे बड़ी महामारी, सबसे बड़ा संकट है। 2 देश महीनों से युद्ध में है। पूरी दुनिया की सप्लाई चेन अस्त व्यस्त है। उस स्थिति में, इस बैकग्राउंड को सोचिए, उस स्थिति में द इंडिया मोमेंट की बात होना सामान्य नहीं है। ये एक नया इतिहास बन रहा है जिसके हम सभी साक्षी हैं। आज पूरी दुनिया भारत को लेकर एक विश्वास से भरी हुई है। आज भारत दुनिया में सबसे तेज गति से बढ़ने वाली अर्थव्यवस्था है। आज भारत दुनिया में नंबर 1 स्मार्टफोन डेटा कंज्यूमर है। आज भारत ग्लोबल फिनटेक एडॉप्शन रेट में नंबर 1 है। आज भारत दुनिया का दूसरा सबसे बड़ा मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरर है। आज भारत में दुनिया का तीसरा सबसे बड़ा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम है। ऐसी कितनी ही बातों पर चर्चा होती रही है। लेकिन चलो, पुरानी बातें कभी किसी को जरूरत पड़ेगी तो खोद के निकालेगा। लेकिन मैं अभी अभी की बात करना चाहता हूं आज, और वो भी 2023 की। 2023 के 75 दिन हुए हैं। मैं उन 75 डेज की ही बात आज करना चाहता हूं। इन 75 दिनों में देश का ऐतिहासिक ग्रीन बजट आया। इन 75 दिनों में कर्नाटका के शिवमोगा में एयरपोर्ट का लोकार्पण हुआ। इन 75 दिनों में मुंबई में मेट्रो रेल का अगला फेज शुरू हुआ। इन 75 दिनों में देश में दुनिया का सबसे लंबा रिवर क्रूज चला। बेंगलुरु मैसूरू एक्सप्रेसवे शुरू हुआ। दिल्ली मुंबई एक्सप्रेसवे का एक सेक्शन शुरू किया गया। मुंबई से विशाखापट्टनम से वंदे भारत ट्रेनें चलनी शुरू हुई। आईआईटी धारवाड़ के परमानेंट कैंपस का लोकार्पण हुआ। भारत ने अंडमान और निकोबार द्वीप समूह के 21 द्वीपों को परम वीर चक्र विजेताओं के नाम किया। साथियों, इन 75 दिनों में ही भारत ने पेट्रोल में 20% इथेनॉल की ब्लेंडिंग करके E20 फ्यूल लॉन्च किया है। इन 75 दिनों में ही तुमकुरू में एशिया की सबसे बड़ी आधुनिक हेलीकॉप्टर फैक्ट्री का लोकार्पण हुआ है। एयर इंडिया ने दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा एविएशन ऑर्डर दिया है। इन 75 दिनों में ही भारत ने ई संजीवनी के माध्यम से 10 करोड़ टेली कंसल्टेशन का मुकाम हासिल किया है। इन 75 दिनों में ही भारत ने 8 करोड़ नए टैप वाटर कनेक्शन देने का मुकाम हासिल किया है। इन 75 दिनों में ही यूपी उत्तराखंड में रेल नेटवर्क के 100% इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन का काम पूरा हुआ है। साथियों, इन 75 दिनों में कूनो नेशनल पार्क में 12 चीताओं का नया बैच आया है। भारतीय महिला टीम ने अंडर 19 क्रिकेट में T20 वर्ल्ड कप जीता है। इन 75 दिनों में देश को 2 ऑस्कर जीतने की खुशी मिली है। साथियों, इन 75 दिनों में हजारों विदेशी डिप्लोमेट्स और विभिन्न संस्थाओं के प्रतिनिधि G20 की बैठकों में हिस्सा लेने के लिए भारत आए। इन 75 दिनों में G20 की 28 अहम बैठकें हुई हैं, यानी हर तीसरे दिन एक बैठक। इसी दौरान एनर्जी समिट हुई। आज ही ग्लोबल मिलेट्स कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई है। हमने देखा बेंगलुरु में हुए एयर इंडिया में हिस्सा लेने के लिए 100 से ज्यादा देश भारत आए। इन 75 दिनों में ही सिंगापुर के साथ यूपीआई लिंकेज की शुरुआत हुई। इन 75 दिनों में ही तुर्की की मदद के लिए भारत ने ऑपरेशन दोस्त चलाया। अब से कुछ घंटे पहले ही भारत बांग्लादेश गैस पाइपलाइन का लोकार्पण हुआ। ये 75 दिनों की ही इतनी लंबी लिस्ट है कि समय कम पड़ जाएगा। और मैं 75 दिन की कुछ बातें इसलिए दिखा रहा हूं कि यही इंडिया मूवमेंट का ही तो रिफ्लेक्शन है। साथियों, आज देश एक और रोड, रेलवे, पोर्ट, एयरपोर्ट जैसे फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बना रहा है। दूसरी ओर भारतीय संस्कृति और सॉफ्ट पावर के लिए भी दुनिया में अभूतपूर्व आकर्षण है। आज योग पूरी दुनिया में लोकप्रिय हो चुका है। आज आयुर्वेद को लेकर उत्साह है, भारत के खान पान को लेकर उत्साह है। आज भारतीय फिल्में, भारतीय संगीत नई ऊर्जा के साथ लोगों को अपना दीवाना बना रहे हैं। हमारे मिलेट्स, श्री अन्न भी पूरी दुनिया में पहुंच रहे हैं। बात चाहे इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस की हो या कोलिशन फॉर डिजास्टर रेजिलिएंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की हो, विश्व आज इस बात को महसूस कर रहा है कि भारत के आइडियाज और भारत का सामर्थ्य ग्लोबल गुड के लिए है। इसलिए आज विश्व कह रहा है, दिस इज इंडियाज मोमेंट। और आप सबने हाल फिलहाल एक और बात भी नोट की होगी, इन सब का मल्टीप्लायर इफेक्ट होता है। एक छोटी सी बात की तरफ मैं आपका ध्यान आकर्षित करता हूं। आजकल अधिकतर देश, जब में मुझे मिलना होता है या उनका भारत आना होता है या भारत का किसी का वहाँ दौरा होता है, आपने मार्क किया होगा हर देशों में स्पर्धा चल पड़ी है कि भारत से चोरी की गई जो प्राचीन मूर्तियां हैं ना, वो खुद ब खुद हमको देते हैं, ले जाइए। क्योंकि अब उनका भरोसा हुआ है कि इसका सम्मान भी वहीं अब संभव है। यही तो मोमेंट है। और ये ऐसे ही नहीं हो रहा है दोस्तों। आज के इंडिया मूवमेंट की सबसे विशेष बात यह है कि आज इसमें प्रॉमिस के साथ साथ परफॉर्मेंस भी जुड़ गई है। यहां इतने वरिष्ठ लोग बैठे हैं। आपने तो 2014 से पहले की हेडलाइंस लिखी है, पढ़ी है, रिपोर्ट की है, और तब मेरा जैसा कोई दुकान चलाने वाला नहीं था। पहले क्या हेडलाइंस होती थी? इस सेक्टर में इतने लाख करोड़ रुपए का घोटाला, भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध जनता सड़कों पर उतरी। आज क्या हेडलाइन होती है? भ्रष्टाचार के मामलों में एक्शन के कारण भयभीत भ्रष्टाचारी लामबंद हुए, सड़कों पर उतरे। आप लोगों ने तो घोटालों की खबरें दिखा दिखाकर इतनी टीआरपी बटोरी है। अब आपके पास अपॉर्चुनिटी है, भ्रष्टाचारियों पर कार्रवाई दिखा करके टीआरपी बढ़ाइए। किसी के प्रेशर में ना आए, बैलेंसिंग के चक्कर में ये मौका न गंवाएं। साथियों, पहले शहरों में बम ब्लास्ट की हेडलाइंस होती थी, नक्सली वारदातों की हेडलाइन होती थी। आज शांति और समृद्धि की खबरें ज्यादा आती है। पहले पर्यावरण के नाम पर बड़े बड़े इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट रोके जाने की खबरें आती थी। आज पर्यावरण से जुड़ी पॉजिटिव न्यूज के साथ ही नए हाईवे, एक्सप्रेसवे बनने की खबरें आती हैं। पहले ट्रेनों की दुखद दुर्घटनाओं की खबरें आम बात होती थी। आज आधुनिक ट्रेनों की शुरुआत हेडलाइन बनती है। पहले एयर इंडिया के घोटालों की बेहाली की चर्चा होती थी। आज दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी एयरक्राफ्ट डील की खबरें दुनिया में हेडलाइन बनती है। प्रॉमिस और परफॉर्मेंस का यही बदलाव इंडिया मूवमेंट लेकर आया है। वैसे बात साथियों, जब देश आत्मविश्वास से भरा हो, संकल्प से भरा हो, विदेश भी, दुनिया के विद्वान भी भारत को लेकर आशावान हो, इन सब के बीच निराशा की बातें, हताशा की बातें, भारत को नीचा दिखाने की बातें, भारत का मनोबल तोड़ने की बातें भी होती रहती है। अब हम जानते हैं कि किसे कहीं पर भी शुभ होता है ना, तो एक काला टीका लगाने की परंपरा रहती है। तो आज इतना शुभ हो रहा है, इतना शुभ हो रहा है कि कुछ लोगों ने काला टीका लगाने का जिम्मा लिया है। और ये इसलिए कि नजर न लग जाए। साथियों, गुलामी के लंबे कालखंड के चलते हमने गरीबी का एक लंबा दौर देखा। ये दौर जितना भी लंबा रहा हो, एक बात हमेशा शाश्वत रही, भारत का गरीब जल्द से जल्द गरीबी से बाहर निकलना चाहता था। आज भी वो दिन भर कड़ी मेहनत करता है। वो ये चाहता है कि उसका जीवन बदले, उसके आने वाली पीढ़ियों का जीवन बदले। वो सिर्फ दो टाइम की रोटी तक सीमित नहीं रहना चाहता। बीते दशकों में जो भी सरकारें रही हैं, उन्होंने अपने अपने सामर्थ्य और सूझबूझ से कोशिशें भी की है। उन्हीं प्रयासों के हिसाब से उन सरकारों को परिणाम भी मिले हैं। हम नए नतीजे चाहते थे, इसलिए हमने अपनी स्पीड भी बढ़ाई और स्केल भी बढ़ाया। अब जैसे शौचालय तो पहले भी बनते थे, लेकिन हमने रिकॉर्ड तेजी से 11 करोड़ से अधिक टॉयलेट का निर्माण किया। बैंक तो देश में पहले भी थे और गरीबों के नाम पर बैंकों का राष्ट्रीयकरण भी किया गया था। लेकिन हमने, और अभी अरुण जी विस्तार से बता रहे थे, हमने तेजी से 48 करोड़ लोगों को बैंकिंग सिस्टम से जोड़ा। गरीबों के लिए घर की योजना भी पहले थी। उन योजनाओं की स्थिति क्या थी, ये आप लोग भली भांति जानते हैं। हमारी सरकार ने इसे भी पूरी तरह बदला। अब घर का पैसा सीधे उस गरीब के बैंक अकाउंट में भेजा जाता है। अब घर बनाने की पूरी प्रक्रिया की लगातार मॉनिटरिंग होती है और ओनर ड्रिवन स्कीम लेकर के हम चल रहे हैं। और जब ओनर ड्रिवन होता है तो गफले नहीं होते, वो अच्छा घर बनाना चाहता है। हमने पिछले 9 साल में 3 करोड़ से अधिक घर बनाकर गरीबों को दिए हैं। यानी दुनिया के कई देश हैं, पूरा देश नया बना रहे हैं हम। हमारे यहां अक्सर महिलाओं के नाम प्रॉपर्टी नहीं होती है। दुकान खरीदी जाती है पुरुष के नाम, गाड़ी खरीदी जाती है पुरुष के नाम, जमीन खरीदी जाती है पुरुष के नाम। लेकिन हमारी सरकार ने जो घर गरीबों को बनाकर दिए हैं, उसमें से करीब करीब 2.5 करोड़ घर जॉइंट नेम से हैं। उनमें महिलाओं का भी मालिकाना हक है। अब आप सोचिए, गरीब महिला खुद को एम्पावर फील करेगी तो फिर इंडिया मूवमेंट आएगा कि नहीं आएगा? देश में ऐसे कितने ही बदलाव हुए हैं जो इंडिया मूवमेंट को लाए हैं। इनमें से कुछ बदलावों की चर्चा तो मीडिया भी नहीं करता, क्या आप जानते हैं कि पूरे विश्व की एक बहुत बड़ी चुनौती प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स की भी है। वर्ल्ड बैंक की रिपोर्ट कहती है कि दुनिया में सिर्फ 30% आबादी के पास ही उनकी प्रॉपर्टी का लीगली रजिस्टर्ड टाइटल है, यानी दुनिया की 70% आबादी के पास उनकी प्रॉपर्टी का कानूनी दस्तावेज नहीं है। प्रॉपर्टी का अधिकार ना होना वैश्विक विकास के सामने बहुत बड़ा अवरोध माना जाता है। दुनिया के अनेक विकसित देश भी इस चुनौती से जूझ रहे हैं, लेकिन आज का भारत इसमें भी लीड ले रहा है। पिछले 2-2.5 साल से भारत में पीएम स्वामित्व योजना चल रही है। टेक्नोलॉजी का भरपूर उपयोग हो रहा है। भारत के गांवों में ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी की मदद से जमीन की मैपिंग की जा रही है। अब तक भारत के 2,34,000 गांवों में ड्रोन सर्वे पूरा किया जा चुका है। 1,22,00,000 प्रॉपर्टी कार्ड दिए भी जा चुके हैं। इस पूरी प्रक्रिया का एक और लाभ हुआ है, गांव के लोगों का ये डर भी कम हुआ है कि अगर वो गांव से बाहर गए तो उनके घर या जमीन पर कब्जा हो जाएगा। ऐसे कितने ही साइलेंट रिवॉल्यूशन आज भारत में हो रहे हैं और यही इंडिया मूवमेंट का आधार बन रहा है। एक और उदाहरण किसानों को मिलने वाली मदद का भी है। पहले चुनाव को देखते हुए किसानों को कर्ज माफी की घोषणाएं होती थी, लेकिन करोड़ों किसानों के पास बैंक खाते ही नहीं थे। वे तो और स्रोतों से कर्ज लिया करते थे, उन्हें तो कर्ज माफी का कोई लाभ ही नहीं मिलता था। हमने इस परिस्थिति को भी बदला। पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि से अभी तक लगभग 2.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए सीधे किसानों के बैंक खाते में भेजा गया है। इसका लाभ देश के उन 11 करोड़ छोटे किसानों को हुआ है जिन्हें पहले कोई पूछता नहीं था। साथियों, किसी भी देश की प्रगति में नीति निर्णयों में ठहराव, स्टैग्नेशन, स्टेटस को एक बहुत बड़ी बाधा होता है। हमारे देश में भी पुरानी सोच और अप्रोच के कारण, कुछ परिवारों की लिमिटेशंस के कारण एक लंबा ठहराव रहा। देश को आगे बढ़ना है तो उसमें हमेशा गतिशीलता होनी चाहिए, साहसिक निर्णय शक्ति होनी चाहिए। देश को आगे बढ़ना है तो उसमें नयापन स्वीकार करने का सामर्थ्य होना चाहिए, उसमें प्रगतिशील मानसिकता होनी चाहिए। देश को आगे बढ़ना है तो उसे अपने देशवासियों की क्षमताओं पर, उनकी प्रतिभा पर भरोसा होना चाहिए और इन सब से ऊपर देश के संकल्पों और सपनों पर देश की जनता का आशीर्वाद होना चाहिए। लक्ष्यों की प्राप्ति में जनता की सहभागिता होनी चाहिए। सिर्फ सरकार और सत्ता के माध्यम से समस्याओं का समाधान खोजने का रास्ता बहुत ही लिमिटेड रिजल्ट देता है। लेकिन जब 130 करोड़ देशवासियों का सामर्थ्य जुटता है, जब सबका प्रयास लगता है, तो फिर देश के सामने कोई भी समस्या टिक नहीं पाती। इसके लिए देश के लोगों का सरकार पर भरोसा उतना ही जरूरी है। मुझे संतोष है कि आज देशवासियों में ये विश्वास जगा है कि सरकार को उनकी परवाह